Hi folks, welcome to another GOTR or Gourmet on the Road update, and we are here in Mysuru. In fact, we are here in the lobby of the Mercure Mysore. Now we've just arrived in Mysore yesterday and we've been busy exploring the destination from a culinary perspective, of course. But our exploration began even before we got into Mysore, and it began on the Bengaluru-Mysuru highway, where we looked at three very interesting breakfast spots where you can have a quick snack, a quick tiffin, or even a breakfast as you drive from either Bengaluru to Mysuru or from Mysuru to Bengaluru. So the first place was Sri Renukamba Tatte Idli, which is in Biddi, not too far from Bengaluru, just about 50 odd kilometers. It's just at that time when you start feeling hungry and then you arrive at Sri Renukamba Biddi Tatte Idli Hotel. And so we had some very delicious Tatte Idlis out there. After which we then went to Shivalli, where we had some rice kadbu, and then last but not the least, on our drive from Bengaluru to Mysuru, we stopped at Maddur for the iconic Maddur Vade at Maddur Tiffinies. So that was the drive from Bengaluru to Mysuru. Before I tell you about the other things that we did between yesterday and today, make sure you stay tuned to the end of this update, because I'm going to respond to a couple of queries and also look at a couple of viewer shout-outs. So having arrived in Mysuru, we did something very interesting and very different from what you would expect to find in Mysuru. We visited Naviluna or Earth Loaf Chocolates, where we explored artisanal single origin chocolates that come from cacao beans in Karnataka. We had an in-depth chat with the chocolatier David Bello to find out how these wonderful chocolates are made. And then from chocolates, we went straight to biryani, where we visited the legendary RRR, yes, 3 R's, at Gandhi Square here in Mysuru to taste their famous biryani. We tasted both the chicken and the mutton biryani and also a couple of other side dishes. So that's one delicious episode that's coming up on RRR. And this morning, we visited Vinayak Mylari. Now what is Vinayak Mylari? Well, all of Mysuru swears by the dosa here at original Vinayak Mylari on Nazarabad main road. I've just come back from a dosa trail, as you know, in Bangalore, where we did about 19 dosas across 12 odd eateries. But this dosa that I tasted at Mylari, at Vinayak Mylari, because there are quite a few clones of Mylari, so you've got to look out for the Vinayak Mylari. So the dosa that I tasted here just blew me away. So you got to stay tuned to an upcoming episode of Gourmet on the Road for more on the Vinayak Mylari dosa. And then this afternoon we had lunch of an interesting kind, and that lunch was right here at the Mercure Mysore. And we had lunch at Uppu, the all-day dining restaurant, and we tasted two interesting thalis. So the first thali that I tasted was a vegetarian Mysuru thali with all sorts of deliciousness from Mysore. And then we also tasted the Karnataka thali, which was a hearty non-vegetarian thali with flavors from around the region. So do stay tuned to Gourmet on the Road for some very interesting episodes that are coming up on Mysuru shortly. Moving on to a couple of inquiries and shout-outs. So we've got a comment that we've received from Karthik Ranganathan, and Karthik Ranganathan responds to the Koshi's video that just went up earlier this month. In case you've not got the breakfast at Koshi's video yet, I'm going to put a link to that video right here and also in the description below. He says, "Hi Kripal, I'm a huge fan of your videos, so much so that I spontaneously click on the latest video that appears on my feed. Kudos to you and the entire team." Thank you very much, Vinayak, for that very generous comment. Vinayak wants to know whether Food Lovers TV is only about covering local culinary destinations which are a short drive away, or are there plans for covering legendary destinations across the country, Mumbai, Goa, or even Delhi? So Vinayak, we've of course begun with Bengaluru and areas around Bengaluru because we are based in Bengaluru, but the idea is to cover as much of the country as possible. Up until now, we've covered Mangalore, we've covered Salem, we've covered Vellore, we've covered some areas in Tamil Nadu. We've also now, of course, we are in Mysuru. And very soon we hope to go to other parts of the country. Hyderabad is on a list of destinations that we must visit. We also have Kerala on our mind. But we're also waiting for the rains to subside a bit So in short, yes, we plan to cover as much of this country as possible and exploring some great food. The second viewer comment is from Karthik Ranganathan. He says, hey Kripal, I've got to say you've got some amazing content, keep them coming. I'd suggest you please do a biryani trail in the city. People would need to know where the best biryanis are available within the city. It would be a great video, and if possible you could go around tasting the brewed beers around various microbreweries. Well Karthik, biryani is certainly something that we love and we just can't seem to get enough of a good biryani. So perhaps someday we'll do a biryani trail. Let's see how that pans out. Perhaps some microbreweries too. But right now there's so much that's going on in the food space to keep us engaged that beers and microbreweries are perhaps a little further down the gourmet on the road journey. But thank you very much Karthik for writing in and for liking our videos. A couple of viewer shout outs. This one is from Shesh Kumar. It says, your channel and videos are one of the main reasons why I proudly pay for my internet. I have subscribed to many food vloggers, but there is something about your channel that makes me smile year to year throughout the videos. So that's a very generous comment. That's a very flattering comment that you feel proud about paying for the internet because of the content that Food Lovers TV puts out. Thank you very much. That really made our day. And we are glad that we make you smile year to year. Thank you. This other shout out is from Karan Dev Chopra. He says, what a wonderful channel you have here. I stumbled upon your channel this Saturday and spent the entire weekend watching your videos. Fabulous presentation about great content, absolutely phenomenal, possibly the best food content on YouTube. Well, that's high praise indeed. Thank you very much Karan Dev. And Karan has responded to our Brahmins video, and we've just released the video today. In case you've not watched the video yet, I'm going to put a link to that video right here and also in the description below. So thank you for all your wonderful comments. Thank you for liking our videos. Please do share our videos on your social networks. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for all your comments. And do stay tuned to Food Lovers TV. There's a lot more interesting content coming up from Mysuru, from Bengaluru and from other parts of the country. If you'd like to support Food Lovers TV, do log on to foodlovers.in and click on the Support Food Lovers banner. Until the next time, happy eating.